Live.
All
I
right, we're
think.
live. What is up? It is Thursday, April 29th. Welcome to the Hi There Show. My name is Nick Brunt. I am joined by my co host, Ian Conrad.
Hello, hello, Nick.
Hello, hello.
Woo! We're in Fig Jam again.
Yeah, we're chilling in Fig Jam. The more I use this thing, the more that I like it.
Can't get enough of these faces.
Well, so we learned that you can actually like stamp your face onto it, and that's going to be a lot of fun for prototyping.
Yeah,
What's happening? What's going on? We're live on the internet. What up, YouTube? Hello, viewers. Welcome to the show.
yeah.
We're
Welcome.
live.
Hit us up in the chat. We're just gonna have a casual night. Do some stuff. Talk about
We
some
are going to have
design
a casual
stuff.
night.
If you have any thoughts or questions or favorite design things you want to tell us about,
Yeah,
hit us up in
questions,
the chat.
comments, hit them up.
We're
I'd
here.
love to give advice. I
Tweet
would love
us.
to hear design problems from anyone so we can sit here and talk about them. I think it'd be a blast. But yeah, we're just going to hang out. We ended up in Fig Jam.
It's fun. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty
I haven't
cool.
had a
This
chance to
this
use it
stamp
at
tool.
work yet. Um, but we're
I,
gonna.
I think there will come a time when there's this, prototyping session, and this is going to be a dream.
Yeah, we're
I
planning a
actually kind of can't wait
workshop.
to start a fresh, like a Figma workshop.
Like a journey mapping workshop, but
Oh,
it's
cool.
next week, and we're going to use this. Not quite sure yet how. Yeah, not quite sure how everyone's going to participate because there's going to be a few UX people,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's going to be a bunch of different people because there'll be people from our customer service department who are really close to our customers,
Cool.
considering that's the department that they service.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else? Just some other product people, other kind of like VP people, project managers and whatnot. So it should be cool. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to do journey mapping for some of our different user types and use this. So it's set up really well to do that. Obviously, it's got like the shapes that
Mm-hmm.
you can draw and connect, but I don't know what I want to use Fig Jam so that people can participate, but I don't quite know what I expect other people to do. Like it would kind of be a mess if everyone was trying to do stuff. So I think the plan is we'll have some people taking the other UX people will take notes, um,
Mm-hmm.
and the other people maybe can use I think these reactions will be fun. I'm worried about if they're gonna like be distracting or like
Well, you
reactions
do have
or
to go in
not
and
those
delete them.
these
So
things.
I think if you've got a 30 panel prototype, or not prototype, but I guess journey map on the go, and people are jamming stickers all over it. But it's a politeness thing. Like, you wouldn't get up in a meeting and just like slap a sticker on the table. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You don't just like start talking in a meeting or do something rude. So if you had enough people in here and you were prototyping, it'd probably be cool and chill.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a good icebreaker. Yeah, people aren't gonna go crazy. It'll be a good icebreaker to the tool because I think it'll come in handy for other like workshops where everyone's
Yeah.
kind of going to be participating a bit more. And this at least gets people seeing it for the first time. And you don't have to if and I'm not sure how it's gonna pan out with some of the different types of people, like people that maybe aren't used to like working in the cloud per se. Just trying
So
to get
and
people
to
signed up for it. So like at the very least, you can send a link that people can watch everything going because we're going to be on like a Teams call too. So we're going to be
Mhm.
on the phone like talking to each other, and then we'll have this in the background, kind of like what we're doing. So like, it's the worst that could happen.
I think it's great. I mean, for doing things like charting and stuff, like, or a sitemap or content hierarchy would be like another good exercise for this kind
Yeah,
of
that would be
thing. Like,
perfect.
sort of like a card sorting exercise, but people actually like, everyone draw a circle in this space or something like that.
Yeah, people can get. Then I feel like it'll. It's a good way to get people paying attention rather than just like presenting
Hmm.
like doing something and then presenting it and asking for feedback. I find a lot of the time people don't even, they might not even know how to give you feedback. And so they kind of just don't say anything.
Well, or they feel sort of underqualified to talk about it, and there's like an intimidation factor there where they just they don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Qualifying feedback is tough. And just to be clear, we're talking about like prototyping. I love it.
It really
This does
fits.
align to a pixel grid, so you sort of got to like work with it, but it's gonna be great. Oh man.
We were doing, well, in Figma, of course, is what we use. We were doing a review of one of the other UX guy work in Figma. He was
Mm-hmm.
showing like all of his stuff like at a high level, like all the files kind of in this view, and they were kind of going back and forth on something, trying to like get approval, and it was getting very nitpicky. So it was like, man, like
Mm-hmm.
come on, like I think we're good here, guys. Uh, anyway, they came to a conclusion, and then I was in the meantime I was on grabbing an image, and I just dropped in this giant like approval stamp on everything. I'm just like, here you go, just to kind of like,
Shake it up.
yeah, shake it up, cut the tension.
Cut the tension at the planning meeting.
Boom.
Although you're sort of more like customer focused. Or sorry, no customer focused. We're all customer focused. You're sort of more of a like consumer voice, I think.
Yeah, like
Or you work more in the consumer voice,
yeah,
which I
like
think is an
closer to
interesting
that side of
perspective.
things. I try to be as close to the customer as possible, because otherwise I have no idea what I'm doing.
Research decisions. That's what we do in UX, baby. So what have you been working on this week? I actually haven't talked to you at all, really,
It's
here.
been busy in a
It's
lot of
been
ways.
busy one. I mean, we're coming to you straight from lockdown. This is our third lockdown now, province-wide lockdown here where we live. So, I mean, I'm home. I'm working. I'm like in front of my laptop all the time because there's kind of no reason not to be.
Yeah, I find it challenging now with that stays later out in the evening. So I'll be like sitting at my computer, and it's like, man, I'm really hungry, and it's like
It's like,
7
oh man, it's
p.m.
7:30.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh damn. It's like, all right, well, I guess I can punch in at 11 tomorrow.
it's been good though. I mean,
Not really, but maybe.
we are incredibly lucky to be in the industry we are in during all of this. But man, those deadlines don't stop. Deadline's a deadline, lockdown or not. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, it's been nuts. We've been trying to hire some new people, and they
Man,
have been
that's
starting this week in the UX side. So we've got a junior UX designer and a couple, someone that maybe an intermediate, and then a senior person on contract.
have you had that many designers in your department before?
Nope. This is so that's four. Before this, there were just two of us, and then before that, for the longest time, there were three of us, and we kind of
Mm-hmm.
built kind of the foundation of what we've got now. And yeah, now we've got some new people starting up.
What do you think
And
about growing a department like that? Like, what do you do? I think that that's especially where UX is kind of getting so prevalent now. That's a problem that a lot of places are running into. Like, we either need to form a department or we need to grow our department.
hmm.
And you kind of can't just like hire people. Like, you got to do something with them, onboard them, maybe
Yeah, I mean,
take them out to lunch, go
let's
to the lunch buffet at Pizza Delight and
yeah,
get them
unlimited,
onboarded.
uh,
Unlimited. You can eat as
unlimited
much as
food.
you want. Welcome to the company.
Yeah, welcome to the big leagues. This is
Welcome to the big leagues.
unlimited
You
buffet.
you toast your own bread
Right.
here on
Whee!
on a Panera grill.
It's like, is this mean I'm slapping you in the face?
I guess
Um,
so. I feel like that's more of a wave.
yeah, I
But
think
people,
it's supposed to be a
two
wave.
two cool kids. Like my dad looks at this and he's like, "Oh, that's a lovely wave. Thank you." I look at it and I feel like you're being very rude because you're slapping me in the face. Is that it for the stickers? Now I want to be able to download sticker
Well,
packs.
we can make our own packs if we want to, and like import
Hmm.
them into. I guess people can't see on the screen what we're doing.
Really, so I can make my own sticker packs for this prototyping software. That's
You
great.
could literally, yeah, open a Figma file and make it like right now, and we could import it in like seconds.
How long do you think it'll be until somebody in your department posts something sort of inappropriate, like a
Well,
Pepe?
it's really just depends on it'll because the other people are so new. I feel like unless it's me, it's going to be a long time. So
Hmm.
I think I'm going to be the one that has to do it for the team. Um,
You're gonna take one for the team, as they say.
yeah, take one for the team.
So what are you doing to onboard these new folks?
Well, we've got like a whole like week lined up for them. It's funny. Um,
Like a retreat?
the greatest, like the easiest, well, not easy, but they're not doing any work yet. Well, I shouldn't say they're not doing work, they're learning. But our product there's a lot to it. Like on the surface, it's pretty simple. Like, I have an
Hmm.
elevator pitch that's, we get test, you test your ad concepts and get results in hours, not days. Um, but it's under the hood, there's like a ton of features. And
Yeah, I
we're
mean
dealing with
that's
like we have different types of users. Our more complex users are like market researchers, and they have their own lingo and everything. So they're meeting
yeah.
with other people just to kind of learn like about that and looking at competitors and stuff, and just kind of an introduction to the industry, because it's a lot
Hmm.
different than like it's very likely that they've never heard of any of this stuff before. It's not like a consumer app like Uber or something that you order food on, or you know what I mean? Like it's not something that an average person would use. It's like a market research and survey tool.
Even
So,
then, there's probably a tremendous amount of like process.
oh
Like,
yeah.
here's how we do it. Here's our special sauce for getting through a sprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, behind the scenes there's tons of stuff. So there's that, but then like today we went through our just a very like very high level view of our design process. Looking at our tools, so like kicking off design brief,
Hmm.
how we start by framing um, figuring out what we know, what we don't know. So that'll tell us like what research we need to go and find out, help us figure out who to ask, that stuff. And then like kind of a tour through Figma. And one person has just started using Figma, and the other people um, were Adobe XD, I believe. So just kind of a quick run through Figma and like how our design system is set up, and how we do our user stories are based on jobs to be done, and our design systems based on atomic design, your friend, the atomic design system. So it
Oh, the atomic design.
set
It all
some
comes down to
articles.
textures and shapes and blocks.
And yeah, it's just like a very fast crash course of how we organize all of our Figma files and do sprints and stories and
Yeah, that's cool.
all that
I mean,
jazz.
that's a tough. That's sort of like half of UX. I think nowadays is, like I mean, I work more in the vendor space, so at a certain point, it becomes like, what is our process to get something out of the door in a certain amount of time?
Hmm.
And so I feel like process decisions kind of evolve and become critical. And what do you do? Like, what is the most forward thinking thing? Like, how do you shape your document? Is it a document? Maybe it's an emotion pathway board. Do you know what I mean? There's so much, and it's cool. Like, it's an interesting space or whatever. But like getting a thumb down on exactly, I guess, how to approach a project is interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, for I guess maybe product side is a bit easier because we're like internal, and we're like kind of repeating the same thing, and we get to refine our process every time. We have a retrospective every at the end of every sprint, talk about like what went
Yes.
well, what didn't go well, and what we should. It's actually pretty good. Like
Oh, sprint
start
retrospectives.
doing, stop doing, and keep doing.
Yes.
Um, yeah, it's actually pretty good. But
I
it's
think
interesting.
it's good to give members of the team like a chance, just even if it's 15 minutes, to be like, is there any like like it's good to do the voting exercises and what went right, what went wrong, and that kind of stuff. But just giving people a bit of room to breathe and say like, hey, I this was a real problem for me for the last 2 weeks, and we need to iron it out.
Hmm. Yeah, nothing's perfect. So what was not perfect about this?
Have you ever had one to turn into like not a fight, but like a sort of like, I don't know what's the way to say it.
I've had ones where we have to be like, all right,
Like,
just delete that and move on.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's or like stop doing like one of the lists was getting too long, full of stuff. Or like, and it was just like, all right,
I
I think
hate
we've
I
stopped
hate
doing these
jumping
by now.
onto I hate jumping onto whatever service it is like 3 minutes before the meeting and being like, oh my god, I have to vote on things.
Oh, we don't do any voting. We just like talk.
We have to. It depends on. I mean, I guess
I've
it
seen the
always
voting
depends
stuff
on the
though.
project team, and I mean, voting can be kind of. I think voting is a flawed system when you have design and dev in a room because you're going to have 12 developers on a file and 2 designers. You know what I mean? I gotta stop saying you know what I mean.
Well, I know what you mean.
I'm gonna put a post-it note next to my head. Do you know what I
No, I'm
mean?
saying,
I mean, God. If I knew for once that you knew what I mean, this might not be such an issue.
but maybe the
Put a
viewers
red
don't. But
post-it note.
so
He knows what he means.
what you're saying is
Period.
no democracy in a company. Corporate rule.
None. Absolutely not. No. 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 There needs to be sort of a weighted system. You know what I mean? Like how they weight votes in the U.S. The way it works so well down there.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense the way it works because it's not just how many votes. There's some other way to do it that's better.
So this is pretty cool. Yeah, I know. It's always like, no, we can't. You can't just vote. It needs to work in this
Well,
way.
no, 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 no.
No, are
Hold
you
on a
voting?
second.
No, no, no. Yeah, okay. That's a good user journey, I think. It's very expressive. Probably get in trouble.
No, it's saying no to no democracy. It's a double negative.
I'm building a user journey. So I guess for the folks at home, I keep promising I'm not going to tutorialize things, but
You might as well.
user journeys, I've been calling them like the new and improved user stories, I guess.
Okay.
Um, I guess I sort of see it as a replacement because you can pair it with a persona.
Definitely. Yeah.
And so what I've been doing is like,
I'm gonna hide
I
that.
guess you could call it persona or personality type.
Neurotic.
What I really want to describe is users, and you got to find like more fun buzz terms for this, but users' attitude going in.
Mm.
Like I guess a persona would be attached to a much larger profile that has demographic information and
Yeah.
you know
If
uh,
that's the case, because demographics don't matter to me.
demographics don't matter to you.
No.
Whoa,
Not if I'm designing
whoa.
something.
I suppose. I guess doesn't it? Explain that. Explain yourself.
Well, I mean, demographics are like age, location.
Yeah.
What else is a demographic? Gender,
Age,
race.
location, gender, race, nationality.
Yeah,
The info, the stuff you get on a census is
yeah. So
demographic information.
that doesn't matter to me at all if I'm designing something because it doesn't tell me anything about what they're trying to use the thing for. So that
What
actually
if
gets
you?
me right back into the that's why we do jobs to be done.
Mhm.
And so that yeah.
Interesting. I'm into it.
I mean, demographics you probably have. Like that's probably we kind of usually have some demographics like with our personas, but that's I think what the marketing department uses for targeting, I guess. Even though that doesn't make I don't think our marketing department wouldn't use demographics to target anyone either because it's not relevant.
Yeah, I guess sort of in my situation, I actually just came off something recently where um, you had 3 clearly defined age groups engaging with a company at 3 different levels.
Okay.
So, like, age became a descriptor because it sort of described an attitude and a certain way that we wanted to approach those users. Like, so there was some traits in there. Like, you can assume that someone who's a student um, is a little more apprehensive about X, but they feel better about Y.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because
So what I'm
student
saying
would be
is,
different for sure. Like that's a valid. I can see. Life stage. Look at this. Okay.
I know what. Where did that come from?
I just typed in
I
face.
like it, but it's a little bit upsetting.
Yeah, it's not perfectly wholesome. There's something slightly off about it.
Like it just sort of floats in.
But
Like,
but you know, most people would say that you're crazy. But I hear you.
yeah, no, it's
Hey,
not
hey Nick,
wholesome.
what
It's
do you
like,
mean? You don't like
what do you
me?
mean?
Hey,
I'm your sleep paralysis demon. I like it though. I'm gonna put it
what are
over
you doing?
your face.
Are
This
you
is
scared? Get up and run away, Nick. What's
this
wrong? You
is.
can't move? Are you paralyzed again, Nick?
Whoa! What?
I think I watched like Rick and Morty or something.
No, I like it. You did a pretty good Justin Roiland right there. I'm gonna put this over
I
your
did. I
face because I
watched it.
sort of think this represents the mask that we all wear.
That's what I'm trying to. That's how people. If people are perceiving me that way currently, then yeah, I think they've got it right. I watched a thing where he was method acting or method voice acting, and he was like, he actually got like too drunk.
Is that where you got liquored? There's a line in there. Not that I'm a crazy Rick and Morty fan or anything, but there's a line in there where Dan Harmon, they're complaining about how drunk he is. And Dan Harmon looks at them and he goes like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you have to wrangle him to capture the performance of a lifetime," and he's just like stumbling drunk. Must be fun. Let's write a show. Let's. Okay, hold on. This whole
Yeah,
like product design UX thing is bullshit. What if we went for more of like a cartoon vibe?
cartoon sketch comedy.
We could be like a funny family. We could get like a pet. You could be like neurotic somehow. I could be
I
like
love
just
it.
so
I'd
plain
love to.
it's nobody likes me.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to jam up their neuroticism heavily. I wish I could change the opacity on this fucking thing.
What are some other Y column values here? Can you see the format of what I'm going for here? And I need you to tell me if you think it's awful.
I do, and I do. Wait,
Go ahead.
start over.
This is a very 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 small. I'm not proposing that you use this, but you see what I'm doing.
Yep.
And
No,
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, that's it.
Go ahead. Vomit your opinion on stream.
I'm
Go
doing.
ahead.
I'm setting up this exact. I'm going through this exact same thing. So yeah, I would have. We called it role, but person, persona, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm kind of cheating because I literally just did this, but then thinking, feeling, or well, doing, thinking, feeling, and then pain points and opportunities are some ones that I've got. So doing is the main thing, I guess. Like that's what this whole thing is about, what they're doing, I guess. But then thinking is fun because
When you do
it
have
could
to
be like
think.
I always put things in like if there's a form, I always try and like shake the boat a little bit by pretending I'm confused, and I'll write a quote from the user's perspective and saying like, man, what the heck does this mean? Why would they put this on the form? Like no one's gonna understand this. No student that I know, like none of my friends would ever understand what this means. I'm just thinking because you said student.
No. I
Because
like it.
we had a setting on our product that I think was kind of for more advanced people, but it was being shown to everybody, and so I put in a quote that's just like, what the heck are they asking me this for? Like, I don't know what that means. Just be like, is that not what this person would think? Feelings.
I'm so sick of this website, Grandpa.
Yeah, holy shit. Are there more steps? No, I don't want to sign up for your email newsletter. God
Look,
damn it.
I've already clicked twice. I'm not gonna do it again. That's it. If the cart fails once, I'm never coming back again. We should join focus groups and just be like, hi, I work at, down at the bank. I'm a manager. I'm here to focus test your app.
That reminds me, I got an invite to do that for my bank and I forgot about it. But I absolutely should because I want to see what the heck they do. Because my God, my bank's app is absolutely terrible. And it's been terrible for
Uh,
like a year straight. Uh,
what is it? TD?
no, it's Tangerine. I don't know. I'm not
Tangerine.
like trying to
Can you
hide
say
it.
that on stream? Are we gonna get like
Fuck, yeah.
targeted?
No, it's a fucking Tangerine is a awful. I do not recommend banking with Tangerine.
But that's one of those like decentralized person free banks.
Exactly. Yeah, you get what you pay for, which is nothing. Uh,
A place to store your money.
but yeah, they invited me to one of those, and I'm like, thank you for reminding me actually, because I meant to join up and just see like what kind of things they do. I've joined anytime I've sent those, I do surveys, and I'm always surprised like companies that I think are really cool. I forget who it was, but they sent me a really shitty survey, and I'm like, they must have outsourced this to some agency because like they if they were gonna write this, they would have at least tried to make it like cool, and it was like long and
Mm-hmm.
boring and shitty and ugly, and I'm like, this does not make sense. I don't remember who it was, but some cool company.
Cool Tech Co.
Cool Tech Co. Um,
I wish I could pick custom colors in this. God damn it! But I guess I'm just into designing a thing now. I like to do services because I want to talk about. I want to mention that like to complete this action, they have to interact with this service,
oh yeah.
and that requires I don't know, a team of people to man your blog or whatever. Pain. Nope. Don't write points. Just pain. Pain.
Feeling pain.
Feeling only pain.
Only
So
pain.
I have, I guess, persona traits, goals. So what do they want to do? What action do we want them to take, or what action are they going to take? I think we had this discussion before. Whose perspective are we writing this from? Like,
Well, that's a good question. It depends. It
nobody.
depends. Like if it's a thing that exists, I've done it where it's like I'm gonna map out what they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think usually we're mapping out what we want people to do. Like we're creating the new journey. But
Yeah,
oftentimes I've mapped out existing customer journeys so we can say like this is what exists now, and then you can
and here's what we want them to have.
yeah, and then that way you can be like here's like pain points, here's opportunities.
I've seen analogies for that before, at like conferences and stuff, and it's like a person goes to a restaurant and they order food, but they don't specify what food they want, and you make them what you like, that kind of thing. I've seen it. I couldn't remember it. I started telling it. I gave up.
Yeah, we need more colors.
Green is always result, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want more colors. I think the Figma people, if we were like, I want a 32 million color palette in here, they would be like, just use Figma, please. This is not for what you're doing.
That's true.
And I would say that's not very good UX. Thanks for a shitty experience for free.
Yeah, what are you doing? Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are for making this for free and it's fun? It's silly.
8 whole well, like 6 colors and then charcoal and white.
Which makes sense because again, this particular like application we're using to do this, I think is heavily geared toward non-designers. Like it's meant to be fun. And again, when you talk about 10 people in a room drawing all this stuff and moving it around, I think that you need to limit that palette, or there's going to be too much.
Yeah, people are just going to spend their time picking colors and be like, no, that's not quite right. No, almost.
Hold on. And everyone's going like, okay, this is meant for quickness. It's pretty good. Are you going to delete your Miro account forever? Are you ride or die? Are you ride or die Figma?
Well, we were only using Miro for that one thing, so I don't know if I'll go back to it for a while. This will do the trick between this and Figma. Miro's
Yeah, I think
Miro's
this will do
good.
the
If
trick.
you're if I was like hard into Miro, I would stay with it because it's got a ton of features. It's got templates already. Like it does stuff that you can't do in this, obviously.
Can I paste a picture
Yeah, you
into
can.
this? Have we figured that out?
Yeah, you can just drop them in. A picture. What else is good? But I mean, I like the the benefit of this is like if you've already got Figma, then it's easier than having a separate thing. I think Figma, like in terms of like business strategy, is
Hmm.
gonna be a dominant player in the industry. Like they'll
All the
overshadow Adobe. I if they can like pull people out of Adobe, I don't think they can though.
Well, I mean, Adobe's going to continue to try and catch up, but I think if you spend any amount of time with Adobe, like their priorities are kind of all over the place.
But if you have people that have like Photoshop and Illustrator, like if you have like a creative department, then it probably makes sense to have XD instead of Figma. You know what I mean?
Well, it's they trap you with the license, so there's certain things that you need or that your designer should have. That's sort of changing. I think that space is changing. Nobody's ever going to be able to pull me out of Illustrator. Although, I mean, I texted you this morning. I thought it was funny. I was doing a sort of chart like we're doing right now in XD, um, just because it was easier to use than Illustrator to build it. Like the ability to responsively resize things and have things flex and change just makes it really easy to build a graphical document like that. So maybe that's changing as well, but you know, it's a weird thing. Oh right, licenses. That's where I was at. Those Adobe licenses. Dang those Adobe licenses. When you sign on, you sort of have to like pick the number of pieces of software you're going to use, and you get like a steep discount the more pieces of software you're going to use. So yeah, you're right. From like a departmental standpoint, it just makes more sense, and it has benefits like that preview mode, or not preview mode, but like the way that you can upload it and the way that developers can pick through styles and comment on things. I think works extremely well, like very very well.
Yeah, it's I would say the only real thing it doesn't have over XD doesn't have over Figma is the multiplayer feature. Everything else
Yes.
is like literally identical. Adobe caught up very fast because when XD first came out, I wasn't using Figma. I don't know if it was around. Figma's 5 years old, so probably not. But Sketch was
Man,
like the one. It was like the darling,
Sketch is pretty great.
and
Sketch is pretty great because
it
and it was flexible. You could do plugins. You could do like weird things with
yeah,
it
it
to
had
change it.
plugins. It kind of had some okay but clunky auto layout stuff via plugins. It had symbols, which are components now. But it was doing all that stuff first, and and then when Adobe XD came out, I gave it a try, and I'm like, this literally does zero. Like I don't
Yeah,
understand the purpose of it existing.
it's
But then
got
2 years later, it's as good as Figma, about just about.
just about yeah, just about.
Like
It does a
the
lot
first
of like
version of
more
XD.
sort of like intuitive stuff where I find Figma gives you like direct control over how things resize. Adobe sometimes can guess and it gets messed up.
Yeah, it does guess. Sometimes I'm surprised at how correct it is. Sometimes though, usually it gets it
We
right for
should
me.
we should do one of these evenings, but open up XD. I mean, my biggest issue is that I've been using Adobe products since I don't know since I like started design. So the shortcuts, the workflow, the way it integrates into the other apps like Illustrator, I like to generate my own assets, um, is like seamless. Like I know what send to back is.
Mm.
I know what. Um, how to make guidelines, how to show hide them, like just little things like that make the workflow better. But also Figma is rad, and this multiplayer thing is so cool. And I do think that it's going to become an industry leader. So I've been enjoying getting on with it now.
Hmm.
So, and
just the
again, I know that Mr. Figma, Mr. Ethan Figma, owner of the Figma Corp, is listening. Yes, let me answer your question. We would really appreciate those licenses, small sponsorship, place at the table
yeah,
at Figma Corp.
smash that like button
Would
while
be
you're at
pretty
it.
cool. Smash that like button. If you want to
At
send us a
least.
signal, at least.
Come on.
You're watching the show. Don't be a dick. How are the numbers doing? What up, viewers? How you guys doing? Hit that chat.
Smash
Hit that empty, lonely chat.
button.
I know it's tough to be the first person. Maybe we can prime the chat. How do I CSS? Thanks for doing this. Love the show.
Did you just
so
chat?
yeah,
you just type something?
Yeah, I did just type something in the chat. I'm just priming the chat for questions that I want people to, it's
Excellent.
like you put a
Yeah,
dollar in the tip jar and then people feel really shitty about themselves, so they put a dollar in the tip jar.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to see how, okay, there it goes. I want to see the delay.
Oh, did you?
There's a bit of a delay. I like
There's
15 seconds. A little bit of a delay here. In the chat
well,
room.
thanks so much for watching. If you are either tonight or in the future, go ahead and smash the like button.
Hit it.
There's got to be a better one than that. Physically hit it. Physically hit a button in your home or office and let us know. But yeah, it helps out the stream. It helps out the show. We're trying to get something going here. Trying to anyway. So yeah, do that. Interact with the stream. Interact with us socially. Oh, check us out on Twitter too. Ian's pretty active.
Twitter, yeah. Sometimes I go on a spree of tweets.
Well, tweets
usually about design things or something stupid, Mostly what Twitter's about. Stupid things.
Yeah, stupid things and anger, sort of like a swirling, I don't know, like a piss pit at behind a concert.
Yeah, I hate how
I actually enjoy Twitter. I like Twitter a lot more than I like interacting with it, but I love Twitter. What are you making? I'm not even in Figma anymore. I'm like browsing the internet while we're chatting here. What up, YouTube? Okay, yeah, this is coming together. The user's journey. So
I just hate.
I actually called it the user's journey, and I thought it was so fancy.
I like it. It's like
I'm taking the client on the ride. It is the hero's journey. Oh shit, dude! Hold on.
With that circle thing, that's a classic thing, isn't it?
Oh my god! Can you imagine giving either a design pitch or a UX, presentation to a client and tying the user's journey into the hero's journey?
I absolutely
you could get a Homer's Odyssey thing going on.
I absolutely have done it, but it's not. I didn't present it as such. It was secretly the hero's journey.
But they also in here we need to have sections where the hero dies or their family dies, but then they redeem themselves to be the ultimate good.
Yeah, just for anyone that's wondering, the hero's journey is this famous thing. It's like how every story goes, pretty much, isn't it? You can
certain types of story,
The Hobbit or all those whatever stories.
The Homer's Odyssey. The Iliad.
So this is I think it's a pretty solid template if you wanted to build a story. You could just hear the steps and it would be a coherent call to adventure, and then you get some someone helps you along the way, and you fall into the shit, and then you transform as a person, I guess, and then you return back to your home and you get on your journey.
Your family and your friends, things have changed, but also you've changed and you're more richer for the experience. Those are Marvel movies. There you go. MCU right there, yeah. Over and over and
Star
over
Wars.
For a decade. Star Wars, yeah, that's a good one. The Luke Skywalker thing, The Hobbit you had mentioned.
Yeah,
All right, so tie that into a meeting. That would get clients so excited.
Our users
it's like the hero's journey, and they're like, oh? Like it is. It's about pain and
The
redemption.
hero's journey.
It's about pain and redemption and intuitive. Sorry, I moved that out
No,
of you.
it's I don't know.
Intuitive software. That's what it's about here today, folks. So please, with no further ado, here are my wireframes.
We're gonna make our user the hero. They're gonna have a call to adventure. I could pitch this. I could put this in a deck. I could use
Totally.
this. I almost want to do it and record it.
Yeah, no, you should absolutely do it. We'll get it up on YouTube.
I would literally I could
going.
use this graphic and sell. I could sell this hard. Just because I know who I would sell it to and how to sell it to them.
Who would you sell it to?
Hopefully the VP or the president of my company's not watching.
Oh yeah,
Like the
no,
VPs.
take that.
Yeah,
Walk
they
right
would
in.
They would eat this up.
Slap it right down on the desk.
A room full of
and be
VPs.
like, it's the fucking hero's journey, and they're like, and they have the moment.
I could create like a year.
And then you have like a controlling stake of the company.
I could create like a sizable initiative, and I would call it. I could either call it the hero's journey, or it would be about making our user the hero, and it would be about turning like this, kind of employee in a company who's one of the people that uses our product, and you're going to make that person the new hero of their team, and they're going to get a promotion, and they're going to become the hero of the company, and it's all going to start with our product, and we're going to get them there. I could turn that into a whole thing. I could turn that into a year-long initiative.
You absolutely should. Ian's journey.
The hero's journey.
And then once you get everybody there, you sit them down and you go, I just made all of this up. I just made this whole thing up. We're 2 years into this initiative. I don't know where we're going.
I'm thinking about it, and I don't want to actually do the work for it because it'd be hard.
Oh man.
So
being inspiring is tough. Being inspiring to clients is tough.
Can that idea? If I had a team of people, then sure, because I'd just be like, I'd spew that shit at them and just be like, go figure it out. And then they'd go and just have all this anxiety and be like, what the fuck is that guy talking about?
That's
holy shit.
He was so upset. He was red in the face. Like, this is my job. And
but
that man was red in the face. He was so fucking angry. Yeah, totally.
That's what working in an agency is. Like, someone just says a bunch of high-level nonsense to you, and then you have to go and make a real thing out of that.
Oh,
and
man.
You're the one that gets paid less.
That's high-level thinking.
So
eventually, I think all designers get to a point where you say, I don't need to design anymore. I just need to think about design.
Yeah.
I need to push those thoughts on other people, despite the fact it's an evolving industry that is different every single day of the week. Thought leaders.
Leaders of the thought.
They think better. They think better and they think faster. They are the thought leaders. Would you rather be a storyteller or a thought leader in your field?
Oh, probably a thought leader.
Probably a thought leader. I feel like thought leader is like directly transferable to dollars.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Thought leader to me is I write LinkedIn articles and they get 200 likes.
Yeah, I would never want to call myself a thought leader. Like, you can't do that. I don't think you can do that.
No, it's one of those things like you can't call yourself an artist. Like, hi, I'm a musician. It's like, no, other people have to say that to you first.
Really? Oh.
Totally. Yeah, maybe musician's different, but visual art, like, other people have to call you an artist first.
Okay. I guess so, because I couldn't just say I was an artist.
I mean, you could, but
they'd
be like, okay, what do you make?
Yeah, nice try.
This alligator.
Dummy. What's this for then?
What is this for?
I thought these were the faces, but it's just some kind of sticker.
Let's take a break and come back and figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
What do you say? We're about at the halfway mark. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, a 7-minute break. We'll be right back.
We'll be right.
We're gonna continue on the user's journey.
Yeah, we're gonna go on a journey. If you've got like an interesting journey that you would like us to map out, hypothetical or real, leave it in the chat, and you got 8 minutes to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll be back. This is actually, I've been working on this stuff lately, and to have you here and work on it is kind of a joy. All
Yeah, I
right,
want to
we'll
try.
be back.
Yeah, I want to try some cool stuff. Now that like we can do whatever we want.
Can we just copy this right into a Figma file and keep be dicking with it?
Stay tuned, and we'll find out as soon as we're back with these messages from our sponsor. My cat. All right, see ya in a few.
Yep.
Big Jam.
Big
Welcome.
Jam.
Welcome back, everyone.
We're back. Welcome back.
Back and ready to rock and roll. We were
Version of user stories. The most UX acceptable version of doing user stories, perhaps. I feel like there's probably already a new method. I've seen something called a mind map recently.
oh, mind maps. Yeah, that's different though.
Internally, I feel like that would be great. I feel like if I went to a client and said, I have a mind map for you.
Mind map is just for ideas.
I think so. God, I saw the sentiment drawings. You know those like live meeting drawings where you hire an artist and they draw like what everybody's thinking and feeling as you're doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that got a name and it's called sentiment drawing, maybe.
Interesting.
Sentiment illustrations.
Okay.
Anyway, we're working on the user's journey. We're talking, where did that hero's journey image go? Yeah, we gotta get that back in here.
There it is.
Because I think that's a revolutionary UX pitch. We have to look at the user as a hero.
We have to look at the user as
one user.
The user's goal. We're going to make the user into a hero. They're not a hero yet. That's what we're going to say.
So it's the hero's user journey.
Or the hero's user journey. Hero user journey.
Whoa, wait. Okay, this is a pitch for a pita shop, and we're gonna call it the hero's journey. Right. Oh, boom.
I'm hungry already.
This one.
The hero's journey.
A UX adventure through. This is a pita shop.
Yeah.
Pita space and time. Come on, this is how you put together a good pitch deck.
That's perfect.
The hero's journey.
All right.
UX adventure through pita space and time. Yeah, we're getting serious. So I have some top level things here. I guess these are the steps of the journey, and we sort of look at these as a linear step-by-step thing through time. So obviously awareness, becoming aware. I always look at this first step as becoming aware. How do you become aware of the product, if that makes sense? Or like, how did you approach the product? Tee it up.
Yep. I like it. And this ties really well into marketing too, because like sales funnel, right? It's
exactly.
Kind of like top of funnel. Like I would actually be curious to see if the marketing department has like a sales funnel and say, hey, let me see that.
If you don't have a sales funnel,
I mean,
if in this year, our Lord 2021, you don't have a sales funnel, what do you got? Leads?
No sales. Oh, you don't got sales without a funnel? Not likely. Sales without a funnel?
Sorry. Where's your funnel? At what point in your sales were you going to bring in the funnel? So yeah, I do think you're right that sort of become aware. How did they become aware? I think it tees up how do users, like how are they approaching your product?
Ooh, look at this funnel. Sorry. This is interesting.
Whoa, man, someone spent their afternoon 3D rendering a sales funnel. Purple. What's purple mean? And why does it go back to red? It like sort of starts red, stranger to customer. Okay.
Stranger. I don't like it.
No, can you bring that back? I feel like in this middle step is sort of where the sales abuse happens. And that's where you just really beat the shit out of people. Yeah, with whatever you're selling.
They're either going to stand for it or they're not. And that's how you know who you. That's how you know who
I think in the sales abuse part of the sales cycle, you really want to test limits, sort of gaslight, confuse. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Salespeople are actually an extremely important part of an
Confused.
organization.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it at all.
I can't.
Zero.
Salespeople are charismatic, and especially in the digital industry, I find the best salespeople I've ever worked with are also very into digital products. Like they're actually into it. They read about it. They think about it. It's their hobby. And if you can hit that, like two-stroke of somebody who is very into like well-designed products and is also a charismatic, successful salesperson, you gotta be nice to those people. But at the same time, you can't let them dictate the design. It's the whole thing. I can't even. I gotta avoid this conversation. I should have let you delete that the first time.
I knew it was coming.
Disorient.
I was trying to think of the right word. Yeah, you want people to be disoriented, because then that's when you get to the pricing. And
it's sort of like, do you remember Bram Stoker's Dracula and they like glimmer people? Where it's like they look at you the right way and you're like in love with them forever.
That sounds familiar. I don't remember that from Dracula, but that's because I read the children's version of Dracula.
Maybe it's not
like
Bram
the
Stoker's.
teenagers version.
What's that one with the sexy vampires from the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Interview with a Vampire.
50 Shades of Grey?
No, that was more like
that's
2010.
Vampires. Isn't it?
Was it? No, it was supposed to be. It was vampire fanfic, which is how all great novels start. And you know what? I bet you, again, let's get back to it. That's Twilight. Right. Why do I know these things?
I mean, no,
I've
that's
seen that movie.
Yeah, that's a thing that everyone should know.
I bet you 50 Shades of Grey was based heavily on the hero's journey. Sort of classic.
For sure.
Literature. I can't rip on 50 Shades of Grey. We're doing a UX podcast here. The hero's journey, a UX adventure through PETA, space, and time. Who is our persona? How do they become wait, hold on. I'm having some XY issues here.
I've definitely made a joke, and I forget where and I forget the context, but I've said 50 Shades of Grey is not a book about wireframes. I've made that joke more than once.
Another great pitch joke.
Put that in your
all the check writers in the meeting are like, oh my goodness. I heard my daughter talking about that smut book.
And then when no one laughs, then I know who's not paying attention, because that's obviously technically hilarious.
Have you ever done that? Like pulled a meeting joke and nobody laughs, and you're like, okay, clearly everyone here is not listening, because that was the funniest thing I've ever said. Come on, throw me a bone. I'm trying so hard.
That was pretty good. Come on. The hero's journey.
Presenting the hero's journey. Okay. This company sells pitas. I just said okay really loud, so I'm bringing it back into focus. I feel like I'm having some XY issues on this hero's journey.
What do you mean?
Become aware, engage. How does the persona become aware?
So I think persona, traits, goal. I mean, goal could exist. Action should be at the top. Persona wouldn't have a step each time. Persona is about the whole thing. Right? So like the trait, I don't think traits would go along here. But persona.
Yeah, that's why I had that question mark. I was goal, action.
So our action will be there. Goal is maybe more of an end goal. Services.
Well, there's an end goal. There's a result. I feel like a goal could pertain to an action. You're taking an action. A goal would be what you expect to happen.
A goal at each step. Expectation. Okay, we can play with that.
Expectation is probably a much better term. I'm just gonna pencil that one in. Expectations. That's gonna fit in there well. What's thinking? Like, what is their thinking?
Yeah. What are they thinking? Fuck, I'm hungry, right?
Yep.
They're thinking two things.
DoorDash.
DoorDash. Uber Freights.
User finds ad placement in DoorDash. So I think this goes back to that's where you tie it into marketing, because there's a thread there where you can talk about, you know, exactly where we got them at the top of that sales funnel, where they're a stranger slightly before the sales abuse period of the sales cycle. Their thinking is, fuck, I love pitas. I hunger for a dry wrap and iceberg lettuce. The worst lettuce.
Not suitable for...
What do you prefer? I mean,
rabbits.
I always get baby spinach. I put baby spinach on everything because I feel like those dense green little boys are going to give me the most nutrients.
Pretty much anything but iceberg. Yeah, I like a spring mix, maybe with some tender reds. I like a mix of salad greens together. Spinach in there. I can't do the full arugula because it's just only arugula.
Arugula is pretty good, but you got to mix it.
Yeah, it's good, but I'm not just going to eat a fistful of arugula.
No. A fistful of arugula.
What am I? Jamie Oliver?
I'm just, yeah, he
Rocket.
loves that shit. Rocket. Yeah, I'm just a boy standing in front of a product team with a fistful of arugula asking you to look at my user journey. I did present one of these this week. I mean, obviously, it's kind of weird to talk about our jobs on the show. I did present one of these this week, and it went so fucking well, Ian. Like, they were amped.
That's good.
I think it really does create, because, you know, why make a chart? Like, why are we sitting here making these things and color coding them and stuff? And it's because we're trying to take a bunch of information that, you know, non-designers, non-digital people don't understand and make it very understandable to them. So when you can take something and go like, here's the whole shebang, like you can interpret this, I think it makes them feel good.
Well, and it not only that is, but it's they weren't thinking about it like that. Like, unless you lay it out, you can't really imagine a journey. Like, you can kind of walk through it in your head, but you can't when you put it down on paper. Then you can start to like see how it ties together differently. You know what I mean? You can like notice like things. Other people can react to it. Yeah, it's surprisingly useful and not as common as maybe it should be. Done. Engage. Become aware.
Okay, so become aware.
What's
User
this
finds ad
block
placement in DoorDash app. I don't know. It just says awareness over and over and over again to sort of reinforce the idea that users are aware that they're interacting with your product. Maybe.
Make one up.
Make up a new one. This is what we do. Feelings. Hunger. Extreme hunger. Hold on. Extreme hunger. Almost for Gunger. Typing on live stream is a lot harder than typing normally, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're typing perfectly over there? I see you clicking wildly.
Oops.
That was me.
Extremely hungry.
Okay, so step 2.
So they click.
They're engaging.
So they tap. I guess they tap the ad.
I would say the expectation in becoming aware is clicking the ad brings them to a page relevant to the offer. So, I mean, if you're a pita shop, you're running an ad placement on a DoorDash app. Show this ad to X number of people who live in the area around the shop. Cool. We're going to show people a deal. And then they're going to click that deal. And what we expect them to get, I guess, is... Oh, DoorDash isn't a good example because it's all housed in DoorDash.
What's that?
User finds ad placement Well, I was looking at this as an ad placement, and you can buy ad placements on DoorDash, but like if you click a restaurant's name in DoorDash, it brings you to DoorDash's page for that restaurant. So maybe we want to look at it this way because it's not going to be a page on a website that we've made, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Where do they see the ad in DoorDash? On the
Yeah,
online or on a iPhone app?
in the app, I was writing it like it was. You found it in the app, so
Okay.
I'm super hungry. I open DoorDash, which I do like 19 times a day now that we're on lockdown. Oh man, do you? I don't know. I don't know about you, but the fact that we're on lockdown has me wanting to order everything right away.
Oh yeah, I order
Like,
way more. I've never used like
ho-
those services before this.
well, all of our local restaurants are on there too, which is kind of cool, but they're constantly sold out.
Yeah, and I know that like those I know they all take like a chunk, a cash. It seems weird with like, Uber Eats and the likes. They're all, you know, about the same, I guess. I think Uber is probably one of the worst companies out there actually in the world, but um
Yeah,
it,
Uber is the driving division of Uber is pretty bad. I don't know anything about the delivery side, but the whole
it's all
cab drivers are like criminally insane madmen who haven't had any kind of background checks, and you just tell them they're part of your company. I can't imagine.
it's yeah, it's I mean it's all just a way to exploit people through this notion of like gig economy and stuff.
Well, they're
Um
going to make their money.
yeah,
I don't know if they've even turned a
well, that's
profit.
the
Like, has
thing.
Uber
They're
ever
not
made
making any
money?
money. They lose tremendous amounts of money. The restaurants say that
So
these
does
people,
Amazon,
the
to be
restaurants
fair,
say
but
that these
yeah.
people bleed them dry, with the percent because they take like 20-30%, which is all of your
No
margins.
shit. Is it really like a third?
Yeah, I don't know how. Well,
That's
the
definitely
restaurants,
more than a restaurant's making on your
it's
$12
they're
burger.
they're barely making anything, and then the delivery people don't get paid anything, but yet we're paying out the ass. Who's No one's making any money. Everyone's losing on this. It doesn't make any sense. Who's getting rich? I guess Uber actually is the one.
Uber is getting rich, and you, as the consumer, are happy because you didn't have to leave your couch to order McDonald's, and 8 minutes later, it's at your
I
door. You
find
don't even have to talk to people anymore. They just leave
it
it on your
if you're gonna
doorstep.
if you're gonna order food, then it's exactly the way it should be done. In fairness to them,
Hmm.
the local companies, they complain, but it's like they I don't know what the right answer is. They can't do the they couldn't provide this service on their own, right?
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's a very sort of software industry thing. Is like you sort of you don't plan for anything, and then you get huge, seemingly in a few years, and there's people standing around going like, "Well, but we didn't know how to account for this," and it's like, maybe you should at this point. Maybe Uber's gross. Maybe Uber's a garbage factory for gross people. Would you call an Uber? Do you call Ubers?
I've tried it a couple times in. Well, I don't. Um, I've tried it a couple times in Halifax, but the price was really high. So I've used the Casino Taxi app, which is basically a third-party app that's copy paste of Uber. So it works well. Uh,
But it does the exact same thing, eh?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it,
it's it's definitely
it works
good, and
pretty
it's
well.
it's considerably cheaper. And I feel like at least cab drivers like earn a profit and an income. Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely cheaper.
I liked it. I used it in the U.S. a lot.
Oh yeah, I used it. I've used it a lot before. Toronto, that's what everybody uses. Fucking
It's
Uber.
pretty cool. Taking away that part where the cab driver doesn't know where you're going. Although we live in a place that's not a metropolis, like we live in a capital city, but it's certainly not Toronto. So things are kind of far away from each other sometimes, and it's always been this weird thing with cab drivers where you call a cab driver from downtown, and all of a sudden you need to get 20 minutes away, and they're pissed about it. Uber just removes that. You just get someone, and they're like a doctor from Russia, and they have a really cool life story. Anyway, I'm
Yeah, a
not
lot of
defending Uber.
doctors that aren't allowed
You
to be
adding a
doctors here.
step in here? Are you getting a step
Well,
in this PETA journey?
there's 2 learning steps, I think, at least,
Learning about
because I'm gonna
learning about the menu, learning about the price.
yeah, an item, because I'm gonna look at the menu and then I'm gonna tap into an item. Why did that screw up like this?
Oh, that's
What?
truly fucked up.
You saw that?
Yeah, no, I saw it. Ian, man, it's
Can't
pulls
even copy
together.
and paste anymore.
Can't even copy and paste anymore. It's gotten on this Thursday, April 29th, 2021, lockdown number 3, lockdown edition, throw away the key on Halifax. Oh, cool. I like the dog. I hate that. Anybody who's listening that's not into this type of design is not going to be as excited about this, but that double column header is fucking doing it for me.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
love it. You can cover 2 topics now.
You can learn as much as all you can learn, all you can eat. Tap into menu item.
Look at it. Boom. Learning. It's all learning. That's what you say. Tap into menu item. So are you proposing that menu items have a single page in this app?
I think, yeah. Well, they do, don't they?
Like you go to Gyro's Pitas / menu / pita.
Yeah, well, there'd be your menu, and then you would tap into, there'd be a list of items, and you tap into the item to read the full details of that item.
What if it was a tooltip? That's all I'm saying.
I thought we were in an app.
Or like something baked into the UI. How would you handle that? Okay, tap into menu item could be any amount. Like it could be an accordion fold. It doesn't need to be a single page.
Well, this is actually probably what we should do. Because you're right. You can. Guess tab ad has to happen. But yeah, read item details.
Mm-hmm.
What else are we learning about? When do we make a decision?
You make a decision then. How do you account? So, I mean, I guess this goes back to, so we're plotting users' journeys. Are we writing it from our perspective or their perspective? Because what I want them to do after they read the item details is add it to their cart. But in reality, they're going to read several item details. They're going to look at deals. They're going to bounce around between several pages before they go, okay, I want a Euro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A gyro. Euro. Do you remember on YouTube there used to be the pronunciation dictionary, and it would just pronounce words incorrectly?
On what? YouTube?
There used to be this channel on YouTube.
I do remember
it was called the Pronunciation Dictionary, and it was made to look like it was like sort of an English language helping tool, but it would just pronounce things incorrectly.
Yes, I never knew what it was called.
Eero. It was very good. So I guess, yeah, that action we want them to do is add to cart. It would be difficult in this view to say user bounces around mindlessly.
I mean, you could do that.
While asking partner what she wants, what she doesn't even know, despite picking the pita play. Do you know what it just goes on and on and on. So I guess it's,
well, I mean,
read item details.
Let's unpack that. Like we in there, I heard feelings. I heard some pain points.
Okay.
Can we think of an opportunity?
Can we?
So
I feel like we have to do these points for these other columns, but yeah.
Thinking.
Keep going.
Add. Yeah. Let's see. What else can we fill in? What are we thinking when we're browsing the menu? Oh, it's just like.
I'd like a good deal. I'd like a good value on my meal.
All right, that's good. That's
good. I'm searching for good value. Have you ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, but I know
it was this game. It was this game way back when, and you could. Well, I'm sure it exists to some capacity, but it's way back, and people would walk around your theme park that you've created for them, and you could click on any one of these people and like listen to their, not listen to, but read their thoughts. And it would always be like, that was a good value on my soda. I had a good time on the roller coaster
A good
today. But
value
it
on a
was,
soda.
yeah, it's just
Interesting.
great. The washrooms were very clean. I'd like a good value on a pita today. Let's get some O's in there.
Good value.
Good value on a pita today! Exclamation mark. Because we do want to capture that they're thinking like it's a positive sort of sentiment.
Okay, so is our hero feeling hopeful? Maybe. Do they think they're gonna find
They are hopeful, yeah. In
that
this moment,
they
they're
think they're gonna
very
find their
hopeful.
PETA?
Yeah,
So
they
there's
think they're
no real
gonna.
pain here. I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna add
pain
a pain
could.
point of like making a choice, maybe.
What if they don't? What if I don't find a pita deal, or the only deals are like including 2 liters of Pepsi, and who even wants that? No deals available. But
Yeah,
that's not
who
part of this. That's not part of this user's journey. So there is none, I guess.
there's a snow. Yeah, there might not be at this point. I like the 2 liter is kind of a painful thing because who buys 2 liters of Pepsi?
I hate it. It's like every pizza deal.
And
It's
then
like,
it's
oh, that's a
flat
pretty good deal,
tomorrow.
but it includes like 17 liters of Pepsi and 4 chicken wings. And you're like, fuck off. And why do the chicken wings come with pieces of celery? I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat that. Good lord.
And I'm not going to eat it.
Holy, some dried ass old piece of celery. You just put it in here because everything else on my plate is brown and deep fried, just for some contrast.
Just for some contrast, like
So
two
that
pieces
you
of
haven't gone
celery,
colorblind.
2 pieces of celery and a baby carrot. A shaved carrot.
And then they give you the dip, but it's like that's for the wings.
It's just white dip. It's like ranch with like lemon in it or something.
Blue cheese, but it's gross
Yeah, but I'll eat. Yeah,
because
not
it's
blue cheese. It's like a computer tried to recreate the taste
yeah,
of fungus.
it's a computer simulated blue cheese, and it's like what is blue cheese? Like they did like a sentiment analysis of the internet for blue
Mm-hmm.
cheese, and everyone it just like comes out as like pungent and bitter or something. So they
Pungent,
just
bitter,
like
fungal.
yeah, they just fired out like a some kind of like bitter ass like white sauce. It's like,
I
yeah, I'll just
have
make it bitter. People will think it's blue cheese. Call it blue cheese. Prime their brain.
called
That's probably part
the,
of it. If you called it something else, it would be something else when you ate it. I think half of the flavored shit we
could be
eat is
anything.
just a plant.
just plant.
It's just like, yeah, it's strawberry. Okay. Yeah, I guess it
It's like, oh,
is.
I'm picking up heavy notes of strawberry. And also like the bottom of my grandparents' dresser. But strawberries are in there too.
Yeah,
I remember
60-year-old basement.
I remember this is actually when you and I used to be roommates. There was like this one period where there was this rash of potato chips from different brands that were obviously computer flavored.
Oh
Like they
my
would be these
God.
really specific flavors that were like so fucking dead on when you ate the chips, but it had this weird,
Oh, like
like
those,
almost like digital quality
remember
to
the
the
ballpark
flavor.
hot dogs or whatever they were called?
Ballpark fucking hot
And
dogs.
it
That was
did.
exactly the one. It
It
tasted like
tasted
hot
like
dogs with
and it
mustard
tasted
on it,
like an entire hot dog.
but
And
like
it didn't.
offensive. Like it just took a part away from you when you ate them.
It was
It
like
was
uncanny. It
horrible.
was like uncanny valley of flavors. Like
It
just
was. That's
not it. I
perfect.
there's something wrong with this. There's something wrong
No,
with
it
it.
doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work. There was like ballpark hot dogs. There was one that was like midnight cheeseburgers or something, and it was
Oh yes,
very dead on.
it
Like you
tasted
would
like
taste like the
pickles.
pickles.
Holy
It was that
shit!
scene from Willy Wonka where she chews the toffee and it's like a turkey dinner.
Yuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
hated
too
those. They
much.
went away eventually. Everyone just gave in eventually to the real chip, Doritos. Doritos are pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
Doritos are
If you
good.
have a house party and you put 3 kinds of chips down, healthy ones included, and one of those is Doritos, that Doritos bowl is drained 20 minutes in.
Always, everyone loves Doritos. The Doritos knows.
Doritos are pretty good. Mr. Doritos, if you're watching, know you're a big fan of the show. Edmund Doritos.
Yeah,
No, it'd be more like Claudio Doritos.
probably. Sponsor us with your
Sponsor us.
Doritos. We'll be the Extreme Doritos Design Hour. I don't fucking care.
We should rename this whole show to the Extreme Doritos Design Hour, and I bet you we would pick up some viewership.
I bet I would watch.
Like, fucking what?
I'd watch that.
Well, you know how Doritos did that campaign where they're like, we don't even have a logo.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple of years ago. It's kind of lame, but it was like, we don't have a logo. We just have to show you a triangle and like some kids running around in like cool sneakers.
It's like, now that's a brand. Like,
now that's a brand. So am I allowed to use a triangle?
no.
And just be like, yo, hey, what up? It's your cheesy flavor, boys. Our logo's a triangle. No big deal, but we're going to talk about some UX.
I think we should do it. What are
I
they
think
gonna?
we should
What
do it.
is it illegal to pretend you're sponsored by someone and like? What if we
Super
and like
dead crazy
like
illegal
fraud? But
Yeah.
what if we're just like, yeah, we're sponsored by Doritos. Doritos are awesome, and we recommend buying them. That's illegal.
What if we were to say we're sponsored by Doritos and then there's just some sort of organizational mix-up where like, you know, Susan, you know, down in sort of processing just gets a document. She's like, oh, youtube.com/ yeah, okay. And she just signs it and all of a sudden we're just on that Doritos cash. Got my Doritos Adidas on. A Doritos gaming chair behind me. Shit, yeah.
Awesome. Doritos headphones.
It's just two big triangles. All right, the hero's journey. User finds an ad placement in DoorDash app. They tap the ad, they browse the menu, they read the item details, they add it to their cart, and then the result is awareness. I think they hit purchase. That is like the most simple, like step-by-step guide I think you could probably create. You've got some cool thinking here.
I like to die.
Thinking
I like to
is
get myself in the brain of our user.
I like thinking in terms of like trying to. I mean, this sounds really dumb. I like the idea that you labeled it thinking. I would have done something like not thinking, more like attitude, sentiment, or something like that. But I think thinking is really direct and it's kind of fun because you get some laughs out of clients, which really is what this whole wacky product design job is all about.
100% of the time. 50% of the time. What's this? So services is interesting. I guess in this specific one.
So you can see in this first column, I labeled it ad buy on DoorDash. A good amount of these could be empty, but like when we engage, we tap that ad.
Like like on this one would be like Apple Pay on like
ad placement redirect. Browse menu would be
I guess nothing special there.
single page generated in DoorDash. So the client, so for somebody to browse the menu, the client will have had to organize a single page generated in DoorDash. That's something that you're not going to handle in the design. So I see it as sort of a service that needs to be noted. So read item details, that could probably largely be empty. Add to cart, we have the cart functionality. Like, is that stupid? Even result, it's like PayPal, payment, middleman, corporate, fuckbag, taking 30%.
Yeah.
But there is like a payment service associated with that. I sort of see that as valuable to note for people, but I don't know. I could take it or leave it. I made it a different color because I wasn't feeling super confident.
Yeah, usually I find it hard to do stuff without that now because you're getting into solutioning at that point.
Interesting.
But eventually you need to do it, especially with service design.
Mm-hmm.
Often you'll have like that hidden layer that's like They call it backstage, or there's like a technology layer. Um,
Well, I
backstage,
mean,
front stage, and what is the other stage?
anything with any kind of content management, right? Like stuff that they have to do or stuff that other departments have to do. I can't do an ad buy for you on DoorDash, so we need to coordinate with your marketing department that's going to do it.
Yeah, it's also an assumption in a way too. It's like this has to happen for there to be an ad, for them to become aware of it. You know,
Wait, I don't. Wait, do that one again?
it's also um, just like a requirement of like if we think they're going to find an ad, then someone's going to have to go and buy that ad for them to be able to get into this journey from, if that's what we think that someone's going to do.
Well, and I guess I think you're totally right. I think to take a step back, this whole chart would be labeled something like uh, buying through DoorDash. And then you would have multiple of these to cover different situations.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be the DoorDash Gyro journey. Yeah, I'm just looking up this other format of journeys that I use.
Wow,
Just stole
cool.
this. If you look up practical service design, you will find the website where this is from. But it's kind of doing this thing where they have a legend. So it's doing what we're doing. I'll move it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing what we're doing, but it's taking them as extra steps. So they have
Mm-hmm.
these like if you look at the legend. So these are some interesting things that could potentially be added to the site as well. So touch point, I guess
Like a
that's
legend.
where you're at.
I like the idea of color
So
coding.
system. This is kind of what that the service, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, system might be system services maybe a little more specific than system, but like a system to me is a piece of functionality, like the upload system, the newsletter system, the et cetera, et cetera.
And then
That screenshot that you pasted in looks like a tabletop RPG that you're about to explain to me how to play. You're
it
like,
kind of
and so when
does.
you land on green, you take 5 dice. Come on, that's good stuff. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
No, that's pretty much it. But yeah, just they have these like hidden steps. So a little bit of a different way to do it, but this the white ones are like user facing, and then the hidden steps are like what happens that the user doesn't see, but it still
Mm-hmm.
flows in like a linear process because it's got to happen. I usually do separate lanes for that, like we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, but
I
I've
like
done
that
these
though.
too.
And
I've done a map like this before. It's fun.
I guess for our fans for the Hi There Army out there, this is like really simple. Like we have 5 steps. This is probably more accurate. 13. You can imagine doing a user journey for something like a banking app where I need to like log in and put in my password, and then I need to confirm multiple things, and then I need to hit a button and fill in fields. Like you can imagine how long and big one of these gets. However, and here's the awesome part. It's like that sign tapping joke. You know what I mean? You always have this sign to go back to tap on where you're like, da, 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 da. If we
Don't
look
make me
on the
tap the
user journey
sign.
right here, this is what we wanted to do, or this is what we agreed was the best course of action, which, of course, I think in the UX world is just keeping the integrity of the idea intact.
Yeah, and it's like this is what we decided that this is what the user is doing and thinking and feeling. So
Mm-hmm.
did what they're doing change?
And then
Okay,
you do
then
user
yeah,
testing, and
then we're
everything they're doing changes, and you're like, fucking
then we're
fuck
not
me, this is all
addressing.
wrong.
Yeah, because if you've got this mapped out, then you can start. Then that's where I would take like your example of the logging into that app. Like I would grab. That's when I would dig into a flow chart, right? Where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let's pull apart this one step in this journey, which is like using the app, and
Mm-hmm.
then flow out. Then we have to do like a task flow of, every single step that somebody does. And that's when I would use these like flowcharts
Hmm.
versus like a journey map. And then you can design it. I've been
Which is
realizing
the
we're not
UX
doing enough of
dream,
that.
right?
What's
Like
that?
that's the UX dream, is having the budget and the time to go, okay, let's break this out and really take a look at how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a login form and people are fine with it, but let's like take a look at it
Yeah,
and take
let's
a look at
figure
what's
out
being
what we're
turned
actually doing instead of just designing some
Let's,
stuff.
I guess you could say, let's reduce ambiguity.
Yep. Let's
Here,
invest.
let's invest in a reduction of ambiguity. Now, please hold hands and join me for this mind map.
Because you're not going to, I don't know, you skip over enough at the beginning and it comes back to bite you in the end.
Yeah, when you're planning for something long term, I mean, I think that this probably applies to something like an app or a service that has plans to iterate and grow over time. Maybe not your down the street wine shop website that you're doing for, 2,500 bucks or whatever. It's something that's going to speak to deeper functionality.
Yeah,
Like,
and if
you
you want to
maybe don't
do,
need a journey map for something more simple.
I mean, it depends on how well you know the user, I guess, and how much you care about that too.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about that in the world of UX? All of your assumptions are wrong and dumb and terrible.
50% of the time, at least.
I know. I'm actually on team like expertise. Like as a UX designer, when you do something for a certain amount of time, you do know things and you can make educated assumptions about the situation. Um, but that's at least enough to get you through to research.
Should be.
That's that's a little fancy thing you got going
I'm
on
trying
over there.
to
What are you drawing?
let's do some little frames on that side.
What if I drew an Eero?
But I find it interesting, you know, uh, the amount of time sometimes people will spend just kind of like not trying to avoid doing some user research.
Well, it's expensive and it's weird.
But I've spent many hours in meetings where everyone's we're trying where we're like where we're talking about like, oh no, this is what the person's going to do, and then someone else is like, no, they do this, but they don't really know. It's just what they think that the user might do, and they're not correct. um, and it's just
that's
like, here's
another.
this is what
That's
I think the
another.
user would do. No, this is what I think the user would do, and then it just comes out to like, man, like, how do we, it's just like, it's impossible to know. It's just there's we
Yeah,
don't
this
the
conversation
conclusion is
doesn't
that we
matter.
don't know, and I'm like, you do know it's possible to find out. And I've been
But I
told
mean,
it's like, we've tried and it's impossible, and I've had to say like, am I allowed to do it?
but that's another part of your
Because I can do it.
professional intuition is like you can take a look at a project and because I've done it many times. Is you think that you're right and you could be very close, but you're going to do user testing and it'll just blow the ass out of your plan every time.
The ass will fall right out of her, as they say.
Ass end will fall right out of her, bud, right on the Trans Canada Highway there. The end of your Chevette just fucking dangling in the ditch. What?
What?
What? Little East Coast. Oh God. Um, Brutal. But yeah, and so to me, it always seemed like the idea of, well, I'm going to guess what my users want. And look, in the vendor space, you have to do that a lot because you got to keep the lights on. But um, the chances of you being completely correct about how users are A, going to use your site, and B, what they want, is like winning lotto with 1,000 times more variables.
I can't
You're
even
not
tell
going to
you.
do it.
I can't even tell you what I want. So
I can't even tell you what I want. I intentionally try and break apps. I'm like digging around trying to find holes in them.
I love trying to break apps.
I love trying to break
Maybe that's what we should do. Just app
apps.
breakers.
Users, people at large, apps that you use every day are actually quite broken in ways that if you dig for, you'll find. And it's hilarious. Whoa. You know what? Get rid of it. I was just on Twitter, and there's a new way of doing UX.
Like this?
It's called voice mapping, and that's where you get everyone into the room to hum, and then we analyze those hums like on audio, all separate mics, 12 people.
Yeah.
The client, all the stakeholders, they hum, and you sort of analyze that hum to understand how they're feeling
Okay.
about what you said.
Because you can't
fake a hum.
can't
You're
fake
just
a
like
hum.
hit a note, and they're like, "What?" And you put a mic in their face and like hit a note, and they go C sharp or whatever. That's not C sharp.
Yeah, but that just proves the point. You can't fake that. So it's
You
you're
just
gonna
can't fake
detect the
that. And if they're
truth.
sad, they're probably going to be like, oh, I'm hitting a low minor. And you know, it's called a it's called
That's
a
cool.
it's called a vocal sentiment analysis, and it's actually part of it's a subset of my card sorting discovery exercise that I'm kicking off. I hope someday that we have UX designers listening to this that know what we're talking about. Okay.
Me too.
Local?
Vocal?
Vocal. Vocal. Read item read item details. Add to cart purchase. They're thinking at add to cart is maybe nothing. Would you have a no thought?
The thoughts.
My expectation would be that the
feelings
UI
are.
reflects.
We've got some strong feelings here.
The UI reflects that I've added an item to the cart. So when I add something to the cart, I expect the UI to change in some degree to, I don't know, let me know that there's a PETA in there.
Yeah, I expect feedback for sure.
Always feedback.
I expect to know. Thinking, oh, that's a good one, actually. Like, maybe not in this case, but anytime there's an action taken, it's like, did it work? What happened? This is always like fun thought experiment. At any point in time, can someone say like, what just happened and did it work? The answer is should be available to them. Emojis are
what just happened and did it work? Interesting. Emojis are fun. Fuck. See, that's another really cool kind of like, honestly, that's maybe a more interesting way to think about it. But, you know, can you present that?
Yes, I have.
Could you receive somebody's $80,000 and come back and say, I used emojis?
I have. I'll show you the one that I did. And because we couldn't be too negative, we did user testing.
We couldn't be too negative.
We couldn't be too negative because it was our work, so we didn't want to say that users like responded negatively to our work, even though that would have been
we couldn't
truth.
be too negative. We couldn't be too negative because the Koch brothers are funding our operation.
Exactly. So you know how it is.
Yeah.
Oh, no one can.
I do know how it is. Yeah, I understand that because obviously you don't want your users to have a bad experience. So I'm not going to map out users. This is my favorite emoji, the closed eyes. Closed eyes followed by open eyes, like blank stare. How do you get the emoji menu? I almost did this one.
You hit the function key, I think. In the new OS, it just does it.
Nope. Did I not upgrade? Am I not on Big Sur?
You're not on Big Sur, you're still on Little Sur?
I'm on Big Sur. No, I'm on Big Sur. I'm on Big Sur. You actually get to choose, like, when you install it, they're like, do you want Big Sur? Do you want Little Sur? Based on, like, do you want to sort of be, like big? Do you want to sort of take the back seat?
Big Sur. Big Sugar. I did a chart with these three emojis.
Okay.
And I plotted features on it based on customer feedback. It was
So,
concept
like-
testing, so we did some high level
so, like-
concepts.
Pain point, satisfied, ecstatic.
Yeah, it was basically just like meh, okay, and like loved it. Like, when are you building
I
this?
think meh.
When can I expect this feature?
I mean, I don't think I could ever write a document that planned for my users to be angry at the product I was making.
No, never.
Wouldn't that be weird? It's like you write a user journey. It's just like, dude, straight up fucking hates your brand.
Expectation, severe anger.
Severe. Going to your website just to get riled up. Going to cause some trouble.
Well, this is a cool looking document, I think, with a little.
That's a cool looking document. I was
pizzazz we
actually
added
really
at the end.
happy to discuss this with you because, again, I was doing something similar and I sort of really wanted to hear your thoughts on it. So I'm going to take all these principles that we've talked about and I'm going to roll them into my DNA and become the most famous designer of all time, which is really what this podcast is all about.
Make your user a hero. Become the user.
Become the
Breathe
user.
the user's
Make your user
air.
the hero.
Walk a mile in their shoes. Breathe
Walk-
a mile in their air.
Join
Breathe a
their
mile in their
family.
mask. Their COVID mask.
Take care of them in their senility. Visit them in the home.
Tuck them in while they sleep.
Take money from your wallet and give it to them.
Hey,
I enjoyed this. This was really great. Thank you so much for listening and watching, of course, on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. You can check us out on Twitter. You can basically just, I don't know, fucking type our name into a browser. And you'll get there. My name is Nick Brunt. This is Ian Conrad. Thanks one more time.
thanks. Yeah, smash the like button and subscribe. We do this every Thursday.
We do
8
this every
Eastern,
Thursday.
9
We do this.
Atlantic.
We're also on lockdown, so I kind of feel like maybe we can get a midweeker in or maybe a weekend thing.
Yeah,
Maybe we can stream something weird. I don't know.
Yeah, let's figure something out.
Okay.
I got some stuff I'm dealing with, so. All right.
All right,
then.
Ian's emotional rage stream coming up soon. Thanks
don't
so
wanna
much
miss
for
that
joining
one.
us.
Good night.
Bye.